Okay, can you hear me now? Hopefully. I'm hoping you can. That should do the trick. For whatever reason, it wasn't sent as my default device. So sorry about that, everybody.
Can you hear me now? Hopefully.
Yeah, so definitely seems to be working. Again, welcome to Cookies Enable, everybody. Sorry about these issues. This is a live stream, so of course always going to have something going wrong. But today we got some awesome news for you. As you can tell, my partner here, Andrew, is at work, working his butt off up north, unfortunately. And since it's the summer, he's had a call off this morning and had to go in and work. So unfortunately, he is not with us at this very moment, but he did give us a video with some news. So I'm going to play this video for you guys here. This is the SpaceX update for you guys, since I unfortunately didn't get time to check that in my own personal time, but Andrew did. So he sent me a video this morning, kind of as his going to work, and he'll explain all that to you guys here and what's going on. And I think you'll really like this video. This will definitely give us the update we are looking for with SpaceX and a few other random things. So he will definitely explain here. Let me pop that up for you.
Hey everybody, so I apologize that I'm not able to make it onto the channel today. Work has been crazy. That's a good thing though. But I wanted to record a small segment just to start you guys off, give you a few updates. SpaceX, what I always talk about. And we have had some new developments over the last week. So I believe Will had tweeted the video of Starship finally being stacked and rolled out to the test stand. And that's still going. It sounds like we're going to have a cryo test possibly today or in the next few days. Now that just loads up the cryogenic tanks on the spaceship to make sure that everything's smooth, everything is not going to leak, and it's all just routine. Again, nothing is routine with Starship, but we are seeing some progress. They're making a lot of progress on the offshore landers, and we're starting to kind of see some designs of what those are going to look like, and it's going to be really cool. Let me see. They also released another drone barge to help land the current Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy boosters. Now this one is a little bigger than the others. It's a little more robust, but it's going to be helping out, I believe, just read the instructions, either that or, of course, I Still Love You. Those are the other two. And this one is going to help with some Falcon Heavy landings. You need 2 locations for both of the side boosters to land. So they're working on that. We'll see how that comes. There's, again, another routine launch happened last week. Another one's happening in a few days. Just more satellites, another Starlink launch. And we are going to see something a little new soon, I think. We'll just have to wait and see. They're kind of being a little quiet on some stuff, which, they didn't want to keep us guessing. But that's basically it for SpaceX. I do know that Elon Musk has paid for a seat on Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic. That's going to be interesting. We obviously saw that take off a few days ago. We'll find some video for you because it was really cool. Now, there is some debate on whether or not it actually went into space. They basically hit the edge of space, 50 to 60 miles above the Earth. And so while it technically was not outer space, it's still pretty close. They had 4 minutes of free fall. The United States government recognizes that it's space, so Sir Richard Branson, I should remember that, and his colleagues and the pilots are now technically classified as astronauts. So we'll see where that goes. I know there's a lot of issues and a lot of people talking about space tourism right now, and I completely understand that. But at the same time, it is helping to fund further space exploration. It was bound to happen anyway. And the more we research, the more we build, the more we study, and the more attention and popularity all of this spaceflight gets, it means that it will eventually become accessible for a much lower price. And that's what we need. So we're going to see some cool things, I think, coming out from them. And Blue Origin's going to have its first orbital launch here soon. Maybe suborbital, I don't remember. but Jeff Bezos is going to be on that one. So I know, say what you will about Jeff Bezos, it's still space flight. I'm still excited to see what they can do. But I just wanted to hop on for a few minutes. I'm downtown getting ready to go into work. I wanted to at least give you guys a SpaceX update and be a little part of the show today. So I'm going to kick it back over to Will, and hope you guys learned something new, and we'll learn a few new things here in the rest of the stream. So everybody take care. Good to see you, Will, and have a nice day.
Well, that was very helpful, and thank you so much, Andrew, for sending us that video and getting us all the awesome news that we needed to know about SpaceX. Obviously, there's a ton going on. They're kind of getting ready for some stuff. As soon as I know more information, or Andrew knows more information about launches and things that are coming up here, we'll definitely get you some more videos and footage. That one, I think, was pretty good. Again, it's just kind of a good rundown of what's been going on and what to expect. I can't wait to hear about the Virgin Galactic launch and all that stuff, and how that goes. So I'm really excited. Thank you again, Andrew. I know you've been working your butt off, and that was a very helpful video. So thank you. I appreciate that. And we do have some other topics today, obviously. The first one that I want to hit on today, that is kind of space-oriented. It's very space-oriented, actually. Is the moon is got an issue today. Or not today, but it will have a big issue, a big impact on the world. What's known as the moon wobble, which happens about every 18.5 years or so. The moon has a very distinct orbit. Anyway, I'm going to put that on the screen here for you guys so you can see how this orbits our Earth. And as you can see, it's not just in a straight line, just going around and around and around and around. It rotates and rotates and rotates, and eventually kind of wobbles back to where it was before. And so that's what they're talking about here. And normally this is a big deal anyway, because the wobble can cause low tides to be lower and high tides to be way higher. So it can cause this influx of water and tides in places that we normally don't have to worry about tides so much. So this wobble is pretty weird. And I tried to get an orientation of the wobble, but I was having a really hard time finding a good visual of that. So I just got the regular orbital. And you can kind of see it at the end when it finally starts to complete the whole orbital loop. You start to see that it looks like it's wobbling. And that's really what's happening here. So it's going to start really pulling the tides more in both directions. You're going to have higher high tides and lower low tides with less time in between the tides, if that makes sense. And that's the danger here, is that with climate change and global warming, and our sea rising, it's already gone up several inches in the last decade or so. So just compiling now from what we're looking at, sea rise now, and just throwing a little wobble of the moon in here, and poof, you've got whole cities underwater. So this could be a really, really big deal. Now, the good news is that we have time to prepare for this. This wobble doesn't happen until 2030. So we have technically about 8.5 years to prepare for this and potentially save ourselves from devastating floods that easily can be prevented. And so this is definitely good news. It's not happening tomorrow or anything like that. They've definitely been paying close attention to the moon for some time. So this is definitely new news. I definitely remember hearing about the moon wobble when I was younger, but I don't really remember anybody freaking out about it. I do remember them having some flooding and stuff from it, but these are areas that usually get flooding. Now, and again, the article states that it's going to be more places that we normally wouldn't have to deal with things flooding-wise or tide-wise is where this is going to start impacting. I'm not 100% sure. I think this is going to... I think the science will be updated probably in the next 5 to 10 years about this orbital moon wobble. So I really wouldn't put a ton of bank on this just yet. I mean, I definitely think there is a definite danger here with this moon wobble and global warming and the sea rises for sure. But I definitely think this is something that the cities, the coastal lines that already have to deal with high and low tides definitely need to start looking into that, making sure that their infrastructures are set for the next decade or so, because this wobble could literally cause like just massive devastation and flooding. So, if not worse. So, definitely something to keep in mind. I thought that was very interesting because I didn't really know. I mean, I knew it had a wobble, but I didn't think it was that drastic of a wobble. So I think for most people, they're not really going to think too hard about it. But, you know, again, I live in Michigan, so we don't really have high tide, low tides here, so we don't really have to worry too much about a moon wobble. Yeah, I definitely have enough family and friends that live in coastal areas that it would definitely impact me for sure. So definitely something to keep in mind. Again, you got about 8.5 years, so time's ticking. Definitely get on your stuff there and make sure that moon orbit is not throwing off your tides in your area in the next 10 years. So just a little something to keep in mind there. Okay, other awesome news, and I hate to bring this up, but I gotta mention poor Hubble. Poor Hubble is still broken down. It is like month 2 now, I want to say. I feel like I have been mentioning this every Wednesday for the last few Wednesdays. Poor Hubble has got a massive memory glitch, and both its main board and its backup board have the same problem, and so they cannot get it to do anything. It will not respond at all. They are still stuck working with whatever base safe mode is. I think they can change its trajectory and speed, and that's about it. So poor Hubble. I mean, this literally could be the end of Hubble, guys. We just got photos from it a month or 2 ago, right before the memory glitch happened. It was doing its work, flying around, having a great old time in space. Now all of a sudden it's broken again. So do I think they're gonna get this fixed? I don't think so. And without having to literally send somebody out there to manually fix it, I don't think this is going to get repaired. And I think this is going to be one of those things where this could just be the end of Hubble, unfortunately. And I hate to say that because it's one of my favorites, and it's done amazing amount of work for the human race for sure, but and space exploration for sure. But this may be the end of Hubble without having to literally go physically retrieve it and fix the memory modules and replace them, which is what I hope they're going to do. Is the only way to get this to work. It will not hold any new directions and or instructions of any kind. So it won't take any new instructions on rebooting or just anything that they need to get this thing back to functionality. So right now it's just super expensive telescope that is just orbiting Earth and doing nothing but that. So hopefully NASA comes to their senses here and gets some kind of genius on board to fix Hubble, because holy hell. Now granted, it is like 30-year-old technology, so the memory module circuits are probably not even manufactured anymore, so that's probably something else they're running into as well. I can only imagine the struggle. I can only imagine. So I know it's not easy, and I kind of beg them to fix it, but I know they'll get to it eventually. It's just yeah, they've got probably bigger fish to fry right now. So anyway, switching to different tech news here. Now this isn't something I normally get a chance to talk about too often, but I know I did have a few friends, I still have friends that are diabetics and have to do the finger prick. Now when I was sick and ill in the hospital, I also became technical diabetic, mainly because I was on feeding tube, so I was getting tons of sugar and not enough proteins, and I couldn't eat actual solids like food solids. So that was the main issue. But they had to check my blood pressure all the time and get the finger pricks all the time, and oh my gosh, I can't imagine having to live like that, and I am so sorry to everybody that has to deal with that. But there is some good news coming to you. Hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, you will be able to not have to prick yourself anymore. Now, technically, they already have technology out there that allows you to not prick yourself, but it's still invasive technology, meaning there's still something on the inside of your body. They put this on the back of your arm, and it actually monitors your blood sugar that way, and then you can take your phone NFC style and just hold it to the back of the device, and poof, it tells you your blood sugar. So they do have that right now. You can get that, but there are a lot of problems with it, and it is still invasive, meaning that if this were to come off, or this could get infected, there's a lot of problems with having pieces of equipment attached to your body all day long. And this is the solution. Here you go. This little test strip can go into your mouth and goes under your tongue just like a thermometer, and it collects the saliva, and your saliva carries some of the proteins and sugar glycerides that are necessary to test for blood sugar. And so since your saliva can actually test for that, voila, here's a saliva test strip. You put this in your mouth, you let it sit there for a minute or two, you put it back into the machine, and the machine gives you a readout of your blood sugar based on your saliva. So this does have some room for error and a lot of room to grow because it is brand spanking new technology, and it is huge. This could monumentally change everything we know about diabetic test strips, and all of those things could be a thing of the past because your test strip is now just like a little lozenge essentially you stick in your mouth, and poof, it'll tell you, hey, you don't have to do the injection right now, you can wait, or maybe you do need it, maybe your blood sugar is dangerously low and you desperately need that shot. This can do this. So this team has been working really hard for years getting this perfected, and it might actually work for more than just diabetics. They're even saying that this could potentially work as testing for even COVID-19 or other things as well. So this could definitely be technology that we're going to be seeing rolling out, I think, real fast. It has already started animal production, or animal testing, I'm sorry, and I'm sure that'll get wrapped up real fast. And I don't even really know exactly how they would do that or what kind of animals. It was very vague, but this has definitely been approved. It is definitely not FDA approved yet, but it's getting there, and I'm sure it's at least been approved in medical journals, and it is being hailed as huge revolutionary science. And I'd have to agree, because not pricking yourself 1,000 times a day is huge, and that just increases your chances of getting an infection, especially right now with COVID-19, Delta variant, and all that stuff going around. So people need to be protecting themselves, and diabetics are already at more of a risk because they're immunocompromised. Now you've got pricks all over your fingers, you're touching stuff. This could be a thing of the past, and this could definitely help. I have source links posted in the comments if you want to read the article and figure out exactly, you can see the guy who created it, and they have a little video and everything. I was going to put a video on here, but it's a lot of talking and mumbo jumbo you don't need to know. So hopefully this is exciting news. I think this is very exciting news for a lot of people, and I'm hoping that this is a major breakthrough for other sciences other than just diabetes. There's so many ways this could be reapplied, and so I think this is really cool news, everybody. I think that that'll be very helpful for a lot of people. So now we have another one here that is also kind of revolutionary in a way that it affects probably a limited amount of people. And now there's a huge, I would say, a good chunk of the population that might have issues with touch and sensing. Maybe they have a genetic disability, or maybe they lost a limb, or they've got a prosthetic or something like that. So these engineers have been trying to find a way to build sensors that can be implemented into the human body that would allow for touch sensations. Hot, cold, how much pressure you're putting on something as well. Touch is a very big deal. I mean, if you think about it, you have to know exactly how much pressure it takes to pick up this tiny little USB receiver, which in my case is almost none at all. But if I want to pick up something much heavier and harder, like my phone, I got to be able to feel that it's glossy, it's slick, and I got to be a little more careful of picking it up and putting it down. And that would be really hard if I didn't have the touch sensation, being able to feel its weight and pressure and its texture. So these guys have been working on a sensor that can be literally implemented or input into the body that would allow you to feel. And it does have a way to bypass damaged nerves. So let's say the nerves in your fingers are all damaged, or maybe there's a good chunk of them that are. This device will find the working nerves and use those to send the signal to your brain. So somehow this thing has a fantastic way of bypassing damaged and or not working nerves, just completely damaged and dead nerves, and it will find the working ones and it will use them to send a signal. So these can be implanted in fingers, toes, all over the body essentially to detect pressure, heat, sense. They already have used these in mice, and apparently it is going really well. They said that they had 2 sets of mice that they used, ones with the sensor and ones without the sensor, and they all had issues detecting, and feeling pressure, heat, cold, stuff like that. And the mice that had the sensors implanted were working like they could feel and touch and grab everything like they were normal, and the ones that didn't have the sensors were again not pretending, but acting like they couldn't do anything. You know, the mice were very confused because they couldn't touch or feel anything, and so without the sensor, they were literally confused. They could not figure out how to touch, pick up, or do anything like a normal mouse. So very intriguing. This is already going to start human trials very soon. I'm actually thinking probably this year. They had just finished animal testing, and that went without failure. Was huge. And I don't even know exactly how these two layers work together. And there's a little metal piece that comes out that again attaches to a good nerve ending in your body, and then that sends the signal through the rest of the good nerves to your brain. So it's not really generating new nerve endings. I don't like the news article so much because it says they're rewriting the nerve endings, which is not really what's happening here at all. So I don't like that wording. I think that's a falsified way of getting the same result. You're really just using existing working nerve endings to send information to the brain from parts of the body that has dead nerve endings in it. So really cool. This could seriously change technology and just the ability for people that have had issues. You know, maybe you were in the military and you had, you know, some explosion or something happen, and you have no sensations in your right arm or whatever. These could be implemented in it, and that would at least give you touch sensations in your hand and probably around your arm and whatnot as well. So really huge technology that could be coming out really next 5 years or so. You'll probably hear me talking about this again. Only now you'll be able to go get the tests and have those sensors implemented and whatnot. So I think that'll be coming very soon. Very exciting technology, guys. Super exciting. I mean, wow. Being able to not prick yourself for blood tests and then being able to touch your, you know, and feel for people that haven't been able to is huge. So very cool stuff. I do have another one here that is also more medical based stuff. I'm sorry I'm dragging all of this into more medical things for you guys, but this is a really cool one too. So I did have some family that have been dealing with cancer and whatnot in the past. And so this is kind of a big deal, but this is more related for tumors. I cannot find my source. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second here. I know I put it on here. I must have deleted it on accident, but that's okay. I will get you guys this one. So we'll open this. We'll open this up here. Let me move it around the screen so it's a little more visible here, and I'll make it bigger. How about that? So this protein has been engineered to specifically prevent tumor cells from being able to get into your bloodstream and or other blood vessels and proceed around your body and get into other parts of your immune system. So or your body. Sorry, I'm just struggling all over the place trying to do all this stuff on my computer here. So let me show you this video. This video is really cool. I tried to download this video so I could just have it on the screen next to me, but it wouldn't work. So you got static 1, static 2, flow 1, flow 2. And I'm just going to keep replaying this video here. Essentially what's happening is static 1 and static 2 are what normally happens. You can see the blood is coming through the vein here, and it just comes right out. The tumor is making it through, no problem. This is branching through without any hesitation. And you look at flow number 1 and flow number 2, and it's almost a completely different story. It's trying to branch out, and then it actually gets blocked in flow number 1, and it starts to recede. And flow number 2 actually does get all the way through, and then it starts coming back. So that is exactly what this protein is supposed to do. It's not necessarily like a glue. It's almost like a drain cleaner. It's kind of weird in a fact that it will actually kind of clog some of those pores in a way that allows for the vascular system to continue to move the blood around, but at the same time isn't allowing those cancer cells or the tumor cells to branch out into more cells. So this is absolutely huge, and this is coming straight out of Johns Hopkins University as well. So they did a ton of this. Is a huge article. As you can see, I'm scrolling and it just keeps going. Huge deal. I'm gonna just post this in the comments here for you guys to look at and read on your own time if you'd like to. It's a lengthy article, but essentially this would be a big deal for people in the future. Maybe you have an inoperable tumor, or you have just a tumor that's growing in such a way that they can't operate on it. So now they will be able possibly to inject this protein serum in and or around the tumor, and this will at least prevent it from getting any bigger. And then as you do your chemo treatments, will allow it to start getting smaller, and so on and so forth, and to the point where they would possibly be able to remove it. And this would also prevent, let's say you have a malignant tumor. If you just have, a cancerous tumor, then this can prevent it from spreading to other organs in the body. Sorry, I had a total brain fart there for a second. But that is exactly why this is necessary. We have nothing on the market right now that can even cope with this kind of technology. I mean, this is a huge deal. For it to only identify the tumor cell and not other cells is also key, and that's exactly what they were able to do here. And this is huge. This is definitely going to change, cancer prevention, and I think this is going to give people maybe a little bit more time, with options on how to get rid of the cancer, prevent the cancer from coming back. This is definitely a huge step in the right direction. So thank you, Johns Hopkins. That is awesome news. I'm super excited about it, and just think that's going to be huge for a lot of people. I know cancer affects a lot more people than we'd all like to admit, unfortunately. And this isn't an end to cancer. I'm not saying it's a cure, but it's at least going to prevent it from spreading to other organs in your body, and that is a massive milestone. So well done, Johns Hopkins, and I can't wait for the human trials to start, which should be later, hopefully next year, I think is what they were saying. So got one final topic for you guys today. One more topic. I know we've had a lot of medical news and space news. How about some robotic news? I haven't mentioned robots in a while. My friends, and I hate to call them robots, but here we are with a new one, obviously from MIT. Where else would you get quality robots from? And this robot is kind of like those cartoons back in the day where they used to have the robotic arms coming out of the wall and put your clothes away for you. They would dress you and dust stuff and put things away. That's where this robotic arm is kind of coming into play. So this robotic arm, we already talked about touch sensors, and this thing has special touch sensors in it that can actually indicate when it's bumping you or touching the human, and it knows the difference between a harmful touch and a good touch. So, and this is important because while they were programming robots in the past, they were having lots of issues with if the robot bumped the human, it assumed it did something wrong and it would just halt, it would just stop. So if it was dressing you and it was halfway through and it happened to just bump you or you moved or something, it would just completely stop and fail to completely dress you halfway through, which is really weird and awkward. So you have to start the whole process over again. These coders have found a way to allow the computer to understand good, pressure and bad pressure and what's acceptable. And so now you can be playing with your phone and it can be putting your code on for you. And this is great for people that are having issues. Maybe they have to have someone in their house, maybe they're elder and they just need someone around to dress them and put things, do things for them. These robots can slowly start to replace these humans and all the extra people that need to be around just to do basic tasks. Now you might be able to get up in the morning, have your robot dress you, put your makeup on for you, get you showered, and put you, in front of the TV or something for the day, or put you out on the back porch to watch the birds or something. So that could be a way of the future for sure. Now, obviously, this thing is not fast. As you can tell, it takes some time to put some clothes on. It's not really super quick. It's not like, oh, I'm dressed in 30 seconds. Yay, It's not fast like the old cartoons and stuff. But this is huge that the computer has understood the difference between hurting a human, helping a human, what pressures are acceptable, what's unacceptable, what is too much pressure, when is it in the way, when is it not in the way. The computer has all these the arm has all those extra joints, so it can purposefully get around the back of you and get around the side of you without getting in your way too. So this is absolutely huge. Thank you, MIT. What an amazing, and it looks good too. I gotta say, this robot is pretty cool looking. It's just an arm right now. There's no body attached to it. But it is very smart. Now, kind of like your Roomba, this robot has collision avoidance as well. So, and that's kind of what I was talking about, is that it will literally detect how close it is to you, so it's not going to be punching you in the face or anything like that. None of that's going to be happening. They have made sure of that. So this is really cool. I think this is a big step forward for robotics, and getting them to be a little more human, I think, and helping us do our human, just day-to-day achievements. So really cool stuff. I'm super excited, and I always get excited about robots and things, but I thought this was a really fun one, and it was very intriguing to see. Again, it's not super fast. It's definitely slow, but if you have all the time in the world and you just want to get dressed and nobody can help you, this is now an alternative. So definitely cool. I thought you guys would like to see that here, but that pretty much wraps up our news for today. I know we covered an absolute ton, and again, I don't have Andrew here with me, so we don't have our amazingly hilarious banter between the two and go spinning off on rants and topics and opinions. So I'm sorry about that, but we are definitely doing our best to get back on schedule here. I'm going to get some new episodes, or some new main episodes going here, and those should start popping back up in the next month or so. I'm sorry there's been a delay there, but between our work schedules, we just haven't been able to keep up. I've only been able to do my Wednesday broadcasts, and that's pretty much been it. So hopefully that's acceptable for you guys. If you have anything special you do want to see, definitely drop it in the comments. If you got a question about anything I've talked about, or you want to debate something, anything at all, just drop it in the comments below. If you want to see any of these source links, I'll also post all of those in the comments below as well. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us here at that email as well with any special requests. And we'll definitely let you know as soon as I can get those main episodes back up and running. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Did have some good viewership at one point, so I appreciate y'all. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you all for tuning in. And thank you, El or Evie. I appreciate that. I hope it's a great show. I definitely try. It's a little hard to do without anybody else around, but not so bad. It could be worse. I can say that. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all the comments and the viewership as well. I will definitely be here next week with another episode of What's New Wednesdays. But again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, topics, drop them in the comments for me, and I will definitely keep in line with you. But hopefully, I know I learned something new. Hopefully you guys all did too. Thanks again, everybody, and I will see you all later.